Mother Mary, I want to thank you for this honor every year. This is a blessing to me personally, but also to our Diocese of Saginaw, as well as to your community. So I'm grateful that you allow us this opportunity. I want to, again, a special warm welcome to Sister Mary Michaela's parents, and Sister Miriam's parents and family, to all of you who've come, some a great distance. Some came from Pennsylvania. That's wonderful. So welcome, welcome. Today I just want to share, as you profess these final vows, solemn vows to the Church, I just want to touch upon two things which I think are important to you for your future and for your entire community. And the first one, I gave thought to this because I just heard in a news announcement recently that the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, not Miriam, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, every year adds words to its collection because of the way in which language is changing. And so this past year, they added the word hashtag and tweep and selfie. Now, Mother Mary Quentin, I hope you're not taking selfies, because this is going to be embarrassing to you if you are. But I thought, as I was listening to that, I thought this is where we've come in terms of the loss of a sense of community and oneness with each other, that we actually have to take our own picture. We have become so isolated from each other. We don't even think to say, would you mind taking a picture of us or a picture of me? Or that we would really be that caught up in ourselves that we would continually take all these pictures of ourselves. I thought it says something about society and about life in general. Back in the year 2000, Robert Putnam wrote the book Bowling Alone. And he was pointing out how in society people have just started to disconnect from their neighbors, from their friends, from their families. And instead of bowling in bowling leagues, they even just bowl alone. And it's a part of with the technology that we have. It is easy for us to hide in our rooms with our iPads and computers and never really interact with others. And in the midst of that type of a world, where selfie is now a word in the dictionary, in that world, you are committing yourselves to community life. What a great gift that is, not only to the Church, but also to the world, to call people back to an awareness of each other, of an awareness bigger than themselves. When we have been going through our parish pastoral planning, it was a hard enough task to get people to see beyond their parish to the next parish, let alone to the universal church. And so you are committing yourselves to a communal life, to a relationship with others. You will find your relationship with the Lord in the context of that community. You will find your relationship with the church in the context of that community. You will find your relationship with the people that you serve, the children that you might teach or treat. You will find that in your relationship with community. And that's the first, just the first thought I wanted to share with you, how important communal life is. Recently, someone was speaking to me and they were referring to your community, but they didn't know the name of your community. So they were referring to that group of sisters that you always see together, you know? See, it's a sign. It's a sign that this tendency of ours in the world today to become so narcissistic and turned into ourselves is working against the will and the mind and the heart of Jesus Christ. So my first thought is that to thank you and to encourage you to maintain that relationship in community. It's not an easy relationship to maintain. It's hard to live with other human beings, and it's even harder to love them in return. And it is something that you will continue throughout your whole life in community. You'll continue to ask the Lord Jesus for patience and understanding, for a willingness to be outside yourself and welcome someone beyond your space. So that's my first thought, and that's my prayer in this Eucharist, that community life will be a great blessing for you, and that you in turn will be a great blessing for the community in which you are promising your lives. The second thought I wanted to share with you was a little bit, Sister Miriam, you wrote to me and said, at one of these masses, I was talking about Mother Catherine Macaulay and said it was hard to find any humor in her writing. So Sister Miriam wrote to me and gave me a whole bunch of limericks and things that Mother Catherine Macaulay. I just pulled one of them out that you shared with me. I don't want you to think that I did not read your letter, I'll just read a part of it because it is just that we have Mother Catherine here in our midst and on a special day, but she was referring to superiors. And she said, "Don't let crosses vex or tease. Try to meet all with peace and ease. Notice the faults of every day, but often in a playful way. And when you seriously complain, let it be known to give you pain. Attend to one thing at a time. You've 15 hours from 6 to 9. Be mild and sweet in all your ways. Now and again bestow some praise. Avoid all solemn declaration, all serious, close investigation." I wanted to touch upon that because my second thought that I want to share with the two of you today is the importance of joy in your lives. That life and the Christian life in and of itself can be very, very serious. If we walk with Jesus Christ, we walk in his suffering as well as in his resurrection. And what helps us to continue to move forward and to grow in that relationship with the Lord is to maintain that spirit of joy in our hearts. I always like to make a distinction between joy and happiness. I equate happiness with a worldly happiness, and that comes and goes. You can have happy and sad days, but we can always have that underlying joy of Christ in our lives that can get us through even tearful moments, that spirit of joy. And I thought our Holy Father, who has a great appreciation for consecrated life and religious life, has been saying that over and over again to those of you in consecrated life. Just a few excerpts from his letter in preparation of the year for consecrated life, which begins, I believe it's November, is it this year that it begins? November 30th. And Pope Francis said, "I want to share a message, and the message is joy. Wherever consecrated persons are, there must always be joy. The beauty of consecrated life is joy, joy. There is no holiness in sorrow. For as St. Paul said, do not grieve like those who have no hope." And then Francis went on to say, when he calls, God says, "You are important to me. I love you. I count on you." And Jesus tells this to each of us. And from this comes joy, knowing that the Father loves us and has called us. I guess that's my second message to you with the various charisms of your community and your own personal gifts that you bring to this community. that you would have a spirit of oneness with your sisters, of community, of patience, and of admiration, and that underlying everything that you do as you go forward is that spirit of joy that's rooted in Jesus Christ, who suffered, died, and rose from the dead, that your joy is rooted in Jesus Christ. And in those two gifts, our church will be tremendously blessed, as well as you personally. And may in our Eucharistic celebration today, all of us might feel the grace that comes to us from a life lived in community and love and a life lived in joy. God love you.